So the retail chain Dollar Tree is having a moment right now, and not a good one. And look, I don't want to go into a lot of detail here about the really salacious news story that's going around, but let's just say that Dollar Tree's attracted some unfortunate attention recently from the darkest corners of the internet, and leave it at that. Let's instead talk about how the Dollar Tree brand, which has famously been used to successfully run an everything's a dollar retail store chain for many years, is working overtime to undermine all that hard work by continually raising prices. It started out with Dollar Tree stores marking most items up to $1.25 in 2022, which I guess is reasonable due to the cost of goods going up during the pandemic. Even so, in the old days, you could shop at Dollar Tree knowing $5 would get you 5 items. At $1.25, that means instead of getting 5 items for a $5 spend, you get 4. But then they hiked it up again to $1.50 on many items last year. That's 3 items for $5. Then prices went up to $1.75 on many items in February of this year, which means less than 3 items for $5. You've now got to spend an extra quarter to get that third one. Dollar Tree also started rolling out $7 items for select premium products in 2022, and it's slowly been marking other items up to $3, $4, $5, and then even $10. The weird thing is the executives at the top of the organization keep talking about how pleased they are with the changes that they're making in transforming Dollar Tree into something it hasn't been before, but many customers themselves seem to be annoyed. The difficulty of understanding what things cost has certainly made it harder to know how far your dollars can stretch in a store where it used to be easy to figure that out. And the rising prices have prompted many online content creators to go into stores and film themselves reacting to price increases, which are apparently easily spotted by looking for red price tags. Now, Dollar Tree is not a store I go to very often, and one of the problems, according to statements they've made to shareholders, is their average customer has generally been a low spender who's either looking for some cheap items for a particular need or who's trying to stretch their budget as far as they can while they still have money in their pocket. These are not often routine customers, and Dollar Tree's biggest weakness as a brand is in being a retailer you go to for cheap stuff rather than a place that most people love to shop. And I think a lot of the problems Dollar Tree is facing are what happens when a brand that's known for a promise like everything's a dollar breaks that promise to consumers. And is there any way they can make things right after they do that? But why is Five Below, another discount retail chain, doing so well right now, despite breaking that very same promise? Well, let's dig into that. I'm Sean in St. Louis, and this is the Marketing Gateway. So as I mentioned, there's another discount chain that's pretty popular now called Five Below. And over the last 20 years, they've expanded into almost every state with nearly 2,000 locations. The original idea of the store was that everything's $5 and below. But if you go in there today, you'll see a lot of products that cost more than that. Now, you'd think consumers would have had a fit about this, but no. They've actually loved seeing Five Below offer a selection of premium products for prices above that $5 threshold. And a lot of it has to do with the way the store has positioned itself. Five Below has long said that it is a friendly option for kids and families who want that low-cost option for gifts, electronics, beauty products, stationery, and snacks. And most of what they offer in their store stays true to their goal of keeping things in that $1 to $5 price range. But I've also seen items in the $30 to $40 range at Five Below, usually electronics or outdoor game sets or things like that. The key is that they're not items that used to cost a lot less and which are now seeing a price increase. Instead, Five Below rolls them out as limited time deal items that are available in limited quantities for special low prices. And consumers are not naive or stupid. They often can recognize that they're paying less for these items than they might elsewhere, and so they're not feeling ripped off when they purchase them. Five Below has also put a significant investment into its shopping experience by replacing slow cashier lines with self-checkouts, boosting the visual appeal in stores, and generally working hard to make their locations feel upscale rather than focused on cost-conscious consumers. They're also transparent that prices are going up due to tariffs and supplier issues, and they aren't generally perceived as being sneaky about price increases. The result is that customer goodwill is high. Five Below is opening new stores, and the kids, moms, and young adults who frequent the store actually believe the executive leadership when they say they're working hard to deliver value, all while breaking their initial brand promise of offering items for $5 and below. So let's pause for a moment and think about how and why they could pull this off while Dollar Tree has been struggling, because it's fundamentally the same problem. Both stores are positioned to appeal to consumers who don't have a lot of money to spend. Both specialize in offering a mixture of closeouts, special buys, and low-cost everyday items to provide their customers with the strongest value. And both built their initial pricing strategy into their name, but had to pivot when inflation caused that strategy to stop working for them. The difference in how this shook out can almost entirely be attributed to communication. When Dollar Tree first raised prices to $1.25, it definitely was a shock to the system that made headlines in many publications, both online and offline. But you know what? People were generally on board with it because they recognized that the slight increase in cost meant they could receive the same basic quality of products they were accustomed to buying for almost the same price. Now, consumers are often price conscious, but they're generally reasonable in understanding that prices have to go up every now and then to match costs. And Dollar Tree's distinctive quality, that consumers could load up on inexpensive items without worrying that they were paying more than they wanted to, was still part of the brand. Where Dollar Tree has gotten itself in trouble is by raising prices in ways that are highly visible to customers, but which don't feel transparent. They're not communicating a strategy or a purpose behind these increases like they did for the ones that happened in 2022. And so consumers are presuming that they're doing it out of greed or exploitation rather than out of necessity. Dollar Tree's communication to its customers has seemed tone deaf and disinterested in the economic hardships that are driving customers to shop at a dollar store in the first place. And public statements made about chasing more affluent customers to increase their spend aren't helping things. The people who need to shop at Dollar Tree feel exploited and unheard, and the people who want to shop at Dollar Tree for occasional low-cost purchases are annoyed because they aren't saving as much money as they used to. It's always tough to be the low-cost provider because that strategy isn't usually sustainable for the long term. And in fact, a classic phenomenon called the Wheel of Retailing, which was proposed by Malcolm McNair back in the 1950s, suggests that low-cost innovators are destined to become mid-level or even premium providers as they upgrade service and merchandise over time and have to charge more to cover their costs. Now, under the Wheel of Retailing theory, Dollar Tree could one day follow in the footsteps of Walmart by offering actual premium products alongside its everyday low-priced items and sale items. Unless you think that's a far-fetched idea, that's exactly the strategy competitor Dollar General is chasing right now as they attempt to upgrade their store experience and offer more gotta-have-it treasure hunt items that are meant to get customers excited about shopping there. But there is a difference between Dollar General and Dollar Tree, and it's how their brands have been positioned. Dollar General has never been an everything's a dollar store, but it's always been a discount chain carrying a wide variety of goods. Dollar Tree, by contrast, had a chain like that called Family Dollar, which they acquired after activist investor pressure back in 2014. Last year, they divested from Family Dollar and closed a lot of the stores because the chain was losing a lot of money due to cost-cutting measures in its logistics and warehousing, making its products undesirable and even unsaleable. Ultimately, in 2014, Family Dollar had to admit fault for an FDA warehouse inspection that was so bad, they wound up being fined over $41 million for the rodent infestation their negligence created. So I would suggest Dollar Tree wouldn't be well served by chasing that Walmart strategy because they clearly are not cut out for it. But look, people need cheap stuff sometimes. They need to be able to go to a store where they can buy inexpensive stationery and household goods and hair products and Mylar balloons and giveaway items for birthday parties. There are also people who are struggling financially and for whom dollar stores offer access to inexpensive food or treats. So Dollar Tree can continue to serve that segment with low prices. They just need to reposition what their brand stands for, and they need to communicate what their values are going forward. My suggestion would be to focus on the fact that they're trying to offer the lowest prices possible to save you money, putting dollars back into your pocket, and then to offer a special promotional section where attractive products are really, truly just $1. This would draw people back into the stores for that same sort of treasure hunt Dollar General's going after, but it'd be more in line with the bottom line pricing Dollar Tree is known for. I would also recommend that Dollar Tree employs a stronger segmentation strategy instead of chasing a core customer. My guess is that they have 4 or 5 different segments of customers who shop at their stores. Without seeing any data and just going off my own experience, I'm going to say that those segments are probably low-income customers, bargain hunters, moms and kids, teachers, and maybe birthday party planners. Each of those groups goes into the store with a different mission and expects different things from the brand. Does Dollar Tree understand those segments enough to serve them with the right products? Do those customers have expectations that need to be met for them to return? Are they marketing to them in a way that gets them to come back to the store and spend more next time? Dollar Tree might be better served by focusing less on pricing and more on carrying products these 5 segments want at as low of prices as possible. And again, lest you think this is impossible, we have another discount store near my office that's called Daiso, and it specializes in selling Japanese dollar store style products. Now, the pricing is actually really good, but it's also a little confusing because nothing is marked in US dollars. It's all in yen. They have charts around the store to help you to understand what the prices actually are, but this layer of abstraction actually makes it easier to focus on the products and worry about the costs at the register. But everyone I've talked to who's been to Daiso loves the experience. It's upscale, it's clean, it's interesting, and it's fun. The store has its own corny Japanese theme song that plays over the speakers and lots of products that you won't see anywhere else. Dollar Tree doesn't do anything like that. They're still rooted in a business model and brand promise that used to work, but which just don't anymore. And as a result, they're losing customers who feel marginalized, unheard, or even betrayed. And that's perhaps their biggest opportunity right now, to rethink that brand promise and to settle on something people actually want and then to stick with it for a while. Because if there's one thing we Americans do pay attention to, it's a cautionary tale about a business that's failing. But it's not because we like to see people fail. It's honestly because we all love to hear a comeback story blossom out of it. And so good luck, Dollar Tree. And if you need some experts in marketing and branding, just check out some of the incredible guests that we've had on this show. We have got your back. I'm Sean in St. Louis, and this has been the Marketing Gateway. See you next time. Whew. It's going to be a hot summer, folks, and this month's plug is to help out those who are struggling to beat the heat with indoor air conditioning, either because they can't afford to buy an AC or they can't afford the energy costs of running one. So I'm going to encourage you to donate to a group called Heat Up St. Louis to help them. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But that's because Heat Up St. Louis was originally founded to help people during the winter with their utility bills and to ensure that people are using safe methods of staying warm to reduce the potential for fires. So they also use the brand names Cool Down St. Louis and Cool Down Missouri in their mission to help people as well during the hot summer months. You can donate to them by visiting heatupstlouis.org or check out other ways to donate to them or even volunteer to help them out.